Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Gertjan, senior investment manager on the thematic equities team at Pictet Asset Management to discuss thematic investing. Gert, it's great to meet with you. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And Gert, there's a lot of interest in thematic investing worldwide. According to Morningstar, over the past 3 years, collective assets and thematic strategies grew nearly threefold from 75 billion to 195 billion. Why do you think this segment is enjoying this kind of growth? And what is Pictet's approach to thematic investing?
Well, it started off from a really low base, so it's just 1% of total assets under management in the industry. So it's still really small. But what we see is that the pandemic has really accelerated interest in thematic investing. Actually, because it's so close to home, we're working from home. It's electronic payments instead of cash payments. It's e-commerce. It's all things that are thematic in nature. These are shifts that are happening and already for a very long time, but have been accelerated because of this pandemic. And we see that as creating interest, additional interest in a trend that was already going on, and also a way to position your portfolio for that. So I think a lot of investors now see the need to increasingly position their portfolios for these trends that they're seeing on a day-to-day basis.
What kind of developments are you seeing in sustainable investing markets, particularly now in the early stages of recovery and the momentum behind the building back better that we're seeing?
Well, at Pictet, the way we approach thematic investing has always incorporated sustainability. The way that we look at thematic investing is for extremely long term, because these are secular shifts that are happening. And therefore, sustainability has always been a part of that. The way we define our themes is a little bit broader to make sure that they can withstand the test of time. And sustainability, the way that we look at it, is also from a sustainable competitive advantage standpoint. Because if you want to capture that long-term trend, these businesses, they have to have sustainable practices in order to survive. What we've seen during the last year, 2 years, intensify is the focus from investors. So increasingly, institutional investors, retail investors, they're all focused on the sustainable aspects of these businesses. Also, because it's a risk if you don't, your future sales will be in peril. Now, with the pandemic and this rebuilding green, there is a step change. We see several thematic funds such as clean energy or environmental solutions that really stand to benefit from rebuilding towards a carbon neutral world. Those were sectors that were already growing quite fast, and thanks to global support now, because many regions have unveiled plans towards rebuilding greener, that step change is resulting in even faster growth going forward.
And within the thematic universe, many asset managers offer strategies that take a narrow approach and invest in individual themes. Gert, can you please discuss your approach and what differentiates it?
So what we do is we have, the way that we look at a theme is it has to be extremely long-term in nature. We're not investing for the next hot trend that will dissipate in a year or two. We really want to benefit from those tectonic shifts that happen in society and that will be visible for the next 10, 20 years. And how we do that is through megatrends. So we want our theme funds to be supported by several megatrends. So each theme fund that we run needs to have a broad enough universe also for active management. That way, if certain pockets within that theme become too hot, you can diversify away from that to the parts of the theme that offer better value. So it's very important to define these themes broadly enough to withstand the test of time, and that's how we've been doing it at Pictet for the last 25 years, and that's what makes us confident that these themes can last for a very long period of time.
Why should an investor embrace a thematic investing approach versus a more traditional benchmark oriented approach? What are the benefits, and how could you incorporate a broad-based thematic strategy into asset allocation models?
I think the benefits are really twofold. First of all, it's a different style of investing, so it adds diversification benefit to your portfolio. And second of all, if you are given a blank sheet of paper and you don't have any You don't think about the way that the MSCI is composed or the S&P in terms of sectors. And you have to invest for the next 20 years. I can guarantee you, you will think about your allocation much more thematically. And basically that's what we're doing. So it's a different mindset. Instead of positioning based off of the composition of the MSCI or the S&P today, you're forward looking because you want to benefit from that journey, from all that growth, and basically already position yourself for that where you think that sector will end up in the future. And if you look at it from a core satellite approach, a lot of times the single thematic strategies that play one megatrend or one theme are frequently used in a core satellite approach. But if you combine these theme funds into, for example, the John Hancock Global Thematic Opportunities Fund, which picks the best ideas from the underlying thematic strategies, then all of a sudden you have a product that can really compete very well with a core global equity.
All right, Gert, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.